You know, I've been thinking about relationships lately and how we
Yeah,
all have different ways of expressing love.
right. Like how some people need words while others prefer actions.
Exactly. It's like Gary Chapman's concept of the five love languages.
Oh, I've heard of that. Can you remind me what they are?
Sure, the first one is words of affirmation. That's when you express love through verbal compliments or appreciation,
Mm-hmm.
like saying, "You look great today," or "I really appreciate you cooking dinner."
Got it. So it's all about positive words.
Exactly. The second one is quality time. That's giving someone your undivided
Right.
attention, like going for a walk together or having a meaningful conversation without distractions.
Okay, so it's not just being in the same room, but actually engaging with each other.
Yes, just sitting together watching TV doesn't count if you're not interacting.
That makes sense. What's the third one?
The third is receiving gifts. It's not about materialism, but the thought behind the gift.
Yeah.
It's like a symbol of love and affection.
So even a small gift can mean a lot if it's meaningful.
Exactly. It's the effort and thoughtfulness that counts. The fourth love language is acts of service. That's doing things you know your partner would
Right.
like washing their car or cooking a meal.
Actions speak louder than words for some people.
Yes, indeed. And the fifth one is physical touch. It's not just about intimacy, but also holding hands, hugging, those little physical connections.
Interesting. So everyone has a primary love language among these five?
Exactly. And often, couples have different primary love languages, which can cause misunderstandings.
So if I prefer quality time, but my partner's love language is acts of service, we might miss each other's expressions of love?
Precisely. You might be waiting for them to spend time with you
Yeah,
while they're busy doing things for you, thinking that's showing love.
that can definitely lead to frustration.
It does. Chapman talks about how important it is to learn your partner's primary love language. It's like speaking different dialects. You need to understand each other's language to communicate love effectively.
But how do you figure out your love language or your partner's?
Good question. You can reflect on what makes you feel most loved or what you complain about most. Often your complaints reveal your primary love language.
That's interesting. So if I'm always saying, you never spend time with me, my love language is probably quality time.
Exactly. And if someone says, "You never tell me that you love me," their love language might be words of affirmation.
That makes a lot of sense. But what if your partner's love language is something that's, not natural for you?
Well, that's where effort comes in. Love is a choice. You can learn to speak your partner's love language,
Right.
even if it doesn't come naturally.
It's like learning a new language. It takes practice.
Exactly. But it's worth it because it fills your partner's emotional love tank. When their love tank is full, the whole relationship improves.
But isn't it a bit forced if you're doing something that doesn't come naturally?
I see your point, but consider this. If you know it makes your partner feel loved, it's a genuine act of love.
Yeah,
It's about putting their needs above your comfort zone.
that's a good perspective. So love is a choice and sometimes requires sacrifice.
Exactly. And over time, it becomes more natural. Plus, your partner might
Right.
reciprocate by learning your love language. It's a win-win.
Do you have any examples of this in action?
Well, Chapman shares a story about a couple, Bill and Betty Joe. Bill's love language was words of affirmation, and Betty Joe's was quality time.
So they were speaking different languages?
Exactly. Bill kept complimenting her, but she didn't feel loved because he wasn't spending time with her.
Ah,
Once they learned each other's love languages, they adjusted their behaviors.
and their relationship improved?
Dramatically, they both felt more loved and connected. It shows how powerful understanding can be.
That's inspiring. But what if someone, let's say, doesn't believe in these love languages?
Well, it's not about belief, it's about
Right.
communication. If you can improve your relationship by understanding these concepts, isn't it worth exploring?
True. It can't hurt to try.
Exactly, and it's about empathy, stepping into your partner's world. That's
Yeah.
always beneficial.
So, to sum it up, the 5 love languages are tools to better understand and meet each other's emotional needs.
Precisely. And when we do that, relationships thrive. It's like speaking the right language unlocks a deeper connection.
I think I'm going to take the quiz and find out my love language.
That's a great idea. And encourage your partner to do the same.
Will do.
It could be a game changer.
Thanks for breaking this down. It's been really enlightening.
Anytime. I'm glad we could dive into this. It's such a valuable concept for building stronger relationships.